Welcome to Old Horse Racing All the Time. I'm Alan, your host, presenting you with the top 10 Breeders' Cup Classic rankings. Week 1. Yesterday was the first week. They're releasing these power rankings, for the Breeders' Cup Classic. They're going to be releasing them every Tuesday right until the beginning of October. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about each horse, going down the list in order, and what I think about the chances so far in the Breeders' Cup, and do they belong in the top 10? Okay, we'll begin with number 1 rankings in week 1 for this. Sovereignty, trained by Bill Mott, ridden by Junior Alvarado, comes out of, he's won 3 G1s so far this year, most prevalent, the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes, and he did come off the Jim Dandy Stakes, finishing second in that race. What do I think about him? Well, he really jumped forward speed-wise last race, putting up a Equibase number that fits the bill for the Breeders' Cup top horses. He seems to be getting better along the way. And yeah, Sovereignty, no doubt about it. He's a Breeders' Cup contender, and he's already qualifies. Is he number 1 material? Yeah, you have to say he is, because he's already fits the bill and his accomplishments. He keeps getting better. Okay, number 2 on this list, Sierra Leone, last year's Breeders' Cup Classic winner, trained by Chad Brown, ridden by Flavien Prat, comes off a big win at Saratoga in the Whitney Stakes, G1 race for older horses. The thing with him is he does have that victory in the Whitney, but if you look at his prior speed figure numbers, he actually ran faster in the 3 races prior to the Whitney. I'm taking nothing away from him. He did come in second and third in a couple other races this year, but was that a case of being dominant in the Whitney, or did the contenders, the main contenders, not fire in that race? At this point, is he deserving of number 2? I don't buy that. I don't buy that right now. I think he should be a little lower, certainly on the list. I even see him on the bubble as far as winning the Breeders' Cup. I don't see him as a real Breeders' Cup contender at this point. I see better horses, but I get it. He won last year, and he's coming off a good race. I'll have to keep an eye on him, but Sierra Leone, number 2. Number 3 in the rankings right now, Journalism. Michael McCarthy, ridden by Umberto Rispoli, comes off a victory in the G1 Haskell. He's won, just like Sovereignty, he's won 3 G1s this year. He's also won a G2 Stakes. What do I think about him? As good as he is, I'm going to have to see a little bit more next race. There are other horses that have run faster to date. To Journalism's credit, he's still maturing. 3 G1s and a G2. And of note, he did finish second to Sovereignty in both the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes. And his numbers are very solid for the 3-year-old group. I see him right now on the bubble for the Breeders' Cup. He's going to have to show me more in his next race. He's going to have to jump forward. Very nice horse. I see him more in the discussion as top 3-year-old between Sovereignty and himself. And we'll see if they face each other in, say, the Travers, and certainly they'll be facing each other in the Breeders' Cup as of right now. The 3-year-old title up for grabs. Journalism would have to step forward and improve his game a bit to win the Breeders' Cup Classic. So I see him a bit on the bubble, but certainly, is he deserving of number 3? I don't think so. I think my next choice, we'll move on to number 4 now. Number 4, Mindframe. Mindframe, winner, undefeated this year, 7 career races, 5 wins, 2 seconds. But this year, he's won back-to-back G1s, including the Stephen Foster, and he's also won a G2 race. So he has 3 for 3, 2 G1s, a G2. I certainly see him with more accomplishments, and he's running much faster by the numbers, speed figures, than Journalism, and actually moving faster than Sierra Leone and Sovereignty at this point. And you have to wonder about Mindframe. Did Mike Rapoli or Todd Pletcher enter the wrong horse in the Whitney? we see Fierceness finishing 5th in that race, and meanwhile Mindframe is on top of his game, actually running faster than Fierceness this year for the most part. And anyway, Mindframe. Okay, the deal with him, he has a jockey, Irad Ortiz, Todd Pletcher trained. He did beat Sierra Leone, who's ranked 2nd, which I just don't get, and Mindframe is 4th. He beat Sierra Leone in his last race, the Stephen Foster, and Sierra Leone got up there, but he couldn't get by him. Mindframe had more left in the tank. I see him as a definite contender in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Mindframe, number 4. Now, we move on to number 5, a Bob Baffert entry, Nisos, driven by Flavien Prat. Now, this one is lightly raced, but he does come off a victory in the San Diego Handicap, and which was a G3, G2. He has won a G3 as well. He has a 2nd place finish in a G1. So he hasn't won. He doesn't have a G1 to his credit, running on the West Coast. But his numbers are so phenomenal. And this horse has such a kick in San Diego Handicap. He was boxed in, and they weren't letting him loose. And he finally found a seam to get through, and he won the race. Bob Baffert, Prat, Nisos by the numbers. I know he's not a G1 winner. I see him as a definite contender. I don't see him on the bubble. Okay, so keep an eye on him. And now number 6, Fierceness. What do we say about Fierceness? Comes off his last race, the Whitney Stakes, where he laid an egg, finished 5th, but he does have a G1 victory this year in the Alysheba, and a 2nd in a G2 at Saratoga. But what troubles me about Fierceness is the last 2 races, he was significantly slower, without excuses. A 2nd place and now a 5th, and no excuses for either race, especially in the Whitney Stakes, where the pace was kind of slow. They're not slow, but 23 and 4. And he was nowhere near the leaders early. He was maybe 5 back or something. Whereas in the Breeders' Cup Classic last year, he was running at 22 and 5, 8 or so for the opening quarter, running 2nd in a speed duel. Why didn't he go that fast in this race and keep up with the leaders and then get brave and then just pull away? I don't know. Was he not the same horse since the Breeders' Cup? He did have the hoof issues. But he did win the Alysheba, and he put up those Fierceness numbers. Big speed figure. So what do you do with a horse like this? He's shown a history of going up and down, throwing clunkers here and there. He kind of gotten away from that recently, but now he slipped back, and he reared that pattern, reared its ugly head again. How's he going to like the West Coast? A horse that's run that fast, and he comes off, he has a G1 in there, a big speed figure. He's kind of on the bubble too. He's going to have to show me more in his next race. I can't totally exclude him because he does have the potential, if he's healthy, to put up a number certainly fast enough to contend and possibly win the Breeders' Cup. So, and that's Johnny V. Some have questioned the ride of Johnny V. John Velasquez, Hall of Famer, and Pletcher, the trainer. So we got to see what happens there. There's somewhere. He has something to prove there, kind of on the bubble Fierceness. At number 7, excuse me, we have Forever Young, Japanese entry. Now, this one is lightly raced, only a couple of races this year, ridden by Ryushi Shikai and what's this guy's name? Yohagi, the trainer. Anyway, this guy does come out of did win the Saudi Cup, and he's already earned $11 million this year. And he did finish 3rd in the Dubai World Cup, as it looked like many were expecting him to follow up. Did he come back too quickly for the Dubai World Cup? But he's definitely a contender. Damn near came close to winning the Kentucky Derby in 2024. A closer, a lot like Sovereignty, not a lot like Sierra Leone. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him. Ranked 8th. I don't know. Ranked 7th, is that too low? We'll have to see, but definitely a contender. And I don't see him on the bubble at all. Now we go down to number 8, Baeza, last seen in the Jim Dandy Stakes, finishing second to none other than Sovereignty, and a fairly close second. Now now this is Michael McCarthy trained, Hector Berrios ridden. What do I see? He seems to be the one that's snake bitten. In the G1s this year, he's come in second twice and third once. He's come in third twice and second once. Third in the Kentucky Derby and also in the Belmont Stakes. And he's come in second in the Jim 2 and the Jim Dandy to Sovereignty. Does he have a little hang on him? In a couple of these races at least, in his races this year, he has been in position. He has been in position to get it done. So, everything seemed to go his way, but he did put up a speed figure that puts him in the ballpark. A little less than Sovereignty, not much last race. I see him on the bubble because others are still faster than him, and he has the snake bit factor. Doesn't seem to be able to finish the job. So, Baeza, he's ranked number 8. Now, number 9, Highland Falls, trained by Brad Cox, ridden by Luis Saez, comes out of the Whitney Stakes, did finish second in a G1. That's his accomplishments this year. His other claim to fame is running a very, very big number over in the 2024, winning the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Number 9. I'm not going to beat this one to death. There are too many other accomplished horses here. I'm curious why he's in the top 10. And I see him as a bubble and probably a toss at this point. At least I can make somewhat of a case for some of these on the bubble in here, like Sierra Leone, maybe Journalism, Fierceness, and Baeza maybe should be a toss too, but let's see what he does. But Highland Falls, a bubble. I don't know if he's going to stay up there. These rankings come out every single week. And now rounding out the top 10, we have, gets in there out of sheer respect, White, Abarrio, Safi Joseph Jr., and ridden by Irod Ortiz. Last seen in the Whitney, finishing in fourth. Some complained that Irod rode him too wide because in the stretch, he still was fairly ballpark to get the thing done, maybe win the race, right? Off the turn into the stretch, he was around. And did he cover too much ground early, especially on the turn or running wide down the back stretch? Did Irod ride him the right way? And another thing about Irod Ortiz, who's he going to pick when it comes time to, for the Breeders' Cup to pop up? Is he going to ride Mindframe for Pletcher? Or is he going to ride White Abarrio for Safi Joseph Jr.? I got to think he'll go Mindframe. That's his best shot to win this race. And that's the main reason. Mindframe has been running better than White Abarrio. He does have one thing. He's on the list. He did win the Breeders' Cup Classic in 2023. He used to put up these gigantic numbers that none of the current horses could match. And he does have a number like that this year in winning the Pegasus Cup at Gulfstream Park and a G1. And he did win the G3 Go Sapper. And so he has a couple of good races, especially the Pegasus. I mean, that was a staple, and he ran it this year. Do I put him on the bubble? Yes. I respect him a little less on the bubble than, say, Baeza or Highland Falls. But, as far as fierceness kind of almost the same as fierceness as bubble-wise. But I see him on the bubble, White Abarrio. Maybe he's not the same horse anymore. Can he dial it up one more time? Will he take to the West Coast? We saw he liked the West Coast over at Santa Anita for the Breeders' Cup. Maybe that does something for him over there. But we'll have to see with White Abarrio. I see him on the bubble. And that rounds out the top 10 of these rankings. There'll be a new one next week. They come out every week through the beginning of October, every Tuesday to be exact. So you can look forward to those. I'm not sure how much of a change there's going to be in this list by next week, but we'll see. And we'll be following this along, giving you these updates every week. If it's not as extensive, I'll just give you a rundown. But we'll go through them. What do you think? Leave it in the comments down below. So, should sovereignty be number one? Should journalism be number three? You decide. I told you what I thought. Thanks for watching, everybody. May the horse be with you.